You are now tuned in to Podcast of the Paranormal.
Today we have a little bit of a different format for our episode. This is something that Jody and I recorded back in June during a trip that we took.
Yeah, we decided we were going to do a live recording.
Yeah. A little bit different.
Yeah, a little different.
And it kind of stemmed from a conversation we were having that we just said, let's put this on the record, basically. Let's record this.
We went up to Cherry Springs area.
Yeah, we were out in Coudersport.
Mm-hmm. The Dark Skies area.
Yeah.
And this is part of Gabrielle's research.
Yeah. The plan was just one night. We ended up doing two to go out and do some research in that area, see how it affected our investigation and the evidence that we would get.
Yeah, sort of go outside and sit in the dark.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we even ended up doing. We ended up bringing it back into the cabin because it was so dark out there.
Yeah. And
someone was a little nervous.
Yeah, it was you.
Yeah, it was me. Yeah, it was not me. No, it's totally dark up there. There's nothing up there. It's ATVs all day. You know, that's what people use to get around. ATVs or like those. Like
four-wheelers.
Yeah, the Gator golf cart type things.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's a nice area. It's different than here. Like, it was really neat. I liked it.
And it was right around the time Disclosure was coming out, right?
I don't know. I don't know when the movie came out.
Yeah. Which we haven't seen yet.
No.
We're going to see it. We just didn't get around to it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Disclosure was coming out around the time. And, you know, anybody that's seen it, you know, the symbolism in that movie, right? We got a few spoilers. Somehow we managed to escape the main plot spoilers, I think.
I think we did, so far.
Yeah. So we had a rental, a B&B.
Yeah.
It was a neat little place. It was like a shipping container cabin.
Yeah, it was the perfect size, just what we needed for the weekend.
Yeah. And we walked in and we were like, wow, this is really nice.
Yeah, it was cute.
And as we turn around, Gabrielle points at the wall.
Yeah, a photo of a deer.
Yeah.
A buck, like a big stag.
And right next to it?
A UFO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wilderness with a UFO hovering right above it.
Yeah. So we really felt like it was the right place, like that we were supposed to be.
Well, we just had conversation about the movie. So it was pretty interesting that would show up. Those two symbolic things which is kind of like par for the course, right? With our trips.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
We have some weird synchronistic stuff that happens.
Yeah. So it was our second day there, and it was your birthday.
Yeah.
So we had decided we were going to make a special dinner.
Yeah.
And, we wanted to make you a cake. I wanted to make you a cake.
Yeah. I didn't get the cake. What did I settle for?
We did apple crisp.
It was the apple crisp.
Yeah,
it was
we made
delicious.
Apple crisp.
Yeah. With the butter and the oats, and cored the apple and put it in there. Or no, we sliced it thinly, right? And did it in layers, I think.
Yeah, we sliced them.
You never ate yours.
No.
We took it home and I ate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Delicious.
So we had gone to the grocery store, and on the way back, we took a little ride past the turn to come into where we were staying. We wanted to see what was up the road farther.
Yeah, see where the ATVs were what they were up to.
Yeah, like was there other places? What did it look like? Just curious.
And we started talking like we do. When we go on road trips, we talk about this stuff. We talk about how we think the Estes Method works and how we think, maybe the collective unconscious is kind of a real thing. Yeah.
And we had talked about the night before and what we were looking forward to that night, what we wanted to change, what we wanted to do different.
Yeah.
But we wanted to follow up on from the night before.
Mm-hmm. And we want to talk about how this phenomena sort of works.
Yeah.
How it wants you to notice it and sort of, move you.
Yeah, in the direction it wants.
Yeah. Really interesting. So we start riding up the road.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we're about a mile up. And right in the middle of the road, mid-conversation, I come around, I think it was like a little bend. The road just turned a little bit. There was like a house on the right-hand side or something.
Yeah, it wasn't very much of a bend.
And, we hadn't noticed anything but ATVs going up there. So we get to a point in the road. There's a tree.
Yeah, a big tree in the road.
Fresh tree snapped across the road.
Yeah.
And I joked around and I said, maybe I should get out and look for a blue Mylar balloon. Of course, Gabrielle wouldn't let me
Nope.
get out of the car.
No. So we decided to go back and just basically record the conversation we were having and finish it.
I mean, it did trigger us.
Right. It
did. It was like, oh, we've seen that before, and everybody knows where that's from. The tree in the middle of the road, the Blue Mylar balloon, right? And we just got to thinking, hey, you know what? Let's take this as an opportunity. We have nothing really going on tonight until it gets dark.
Yeah.
Let's go back and record our thoughts on all this.
Yeah. And that night, we didn't even get to do the typical experiment because everybody, like, we just kept getting phone calls and we couldn't sleep. Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So we had an earlier investigation than we typically would have.
Yeah.
If we were able to sleep.
But it led to a really good conversation.
It did.
A really interesting conversation.
It was.
I think that, and I'm hoping that everybody who's listening enjoys it.
We hope you enjoy it. We hope maybe it starts conversations for you.
And it's okay to draw the parallels here, right?
Right.
We're on a little bit of a journey, and we're looking for these things. We're trying to connect these dots now, right?
Yeah.
Just to see where it takes us.
Right.
Which is an experiment in itself, right?
Yeah. I mean, at this time, we're almost a year into this research, almost 11 months. And at the time, we were probably 8 months into this.
Yeah. Oh, because we record, and everybody knows this, we record ahead of time. Some episodes we record, they never get released. This is one of them that I absolutely wanted to release.
Right.
Since we recorded it.
Yeah.
Things get in the way. You have interviews and you want to get those episodes out. You know, you're taking people's time, right? To sit with you and do an interview. So I always feel
prioritize
kind of obligated.
That.
Yeah.
And we also wanted to get out this last episode where we introduced the research ideas so that there's like a background for this conversation and it's not just this conversation.
Right. What do you think, Gabrielle? Should we kick it off?
Yeah. We hope you enjoy it. This is a conversation between Gabrielle and Jody on June 20th about 3:15 in the afternoon.
On my birthday.
On Jody's birthday. We are in Coudersport in a cabin, for lack of a better word.
It is a cabin in the woods.
In the Dark Skies area here in the PA Wilds.
So we're nearby Cherry Springs?
Yeah, Cherry Springs State Park, where people go to stargaze. So that was our purpose for coming out here, was to use the dark skies.
Well, first of all, nothing in the area, right?
No, it's very quiet. There's no, like, street lamps. There's no light anywhere.
No interstates?
No.
We basically had to take Main Street all the way up from home, pretty much.
Back roads, yeah.
Yeah, all back roads.
Like Route 6 a lot.
Yep. So, last night, we went to bed, around 9 o'clock?
Probably
9:30?
like closer to 10.
Was it that late?
Yeah.
Horrible at this, but...
Because we were still out here watching that show.
Beforehand, we went out to check out the sky, right?
Yeah.
Which is fucking amazing. Closest thing I can compare it to is when you're at the beach, like when we went to Sandbridge.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of light pollution. Well, up here, there's like zero light pollution.
It's amazing. You could see the Milky Way, like almost with your eye. It's crazy.
Well, you could see it with your eye, yeah. More stars than you're used to seeing. You could see everything that's moving up there. Satellites, planes, whatever. Not a lot of planes, I don't think. There wasn't a lot of blinking lights.
No.
I did notice there's not a lot of planes up here. There's no like, plane routes going through
I don't
here.
think I've heard any planes.
Huh. But, yeah, the sky is just amazing. So, as part of our experiment, Gab, I don't know if you want to jump into that and touch on the experiment we're doing a little.
Yeah, as part of our experiment, we've been using the biphasic sleep pattern. So we sleep for a few hours, usually like 3 to 4. We wake up usually for about an hour or 2, and then we go back to sleep for at least 3 to 4 hours, sometimes more, depending on the day.
And what we're doing during that second wakeful period, that first wakeful period, I guess, how do I explain that?
Just during the wakeful period.
During the wakeful period.
I started calling it the watch.
So we're doing paranormal stuff. We've tried a number of things, automatic writing.
Estes sessions.
Estes sessions, planchette. Estes sessions are wild, as usual. But this is what Gabrielle's doing with her research on the two sleeps. And, darkness and how the darkness and sleep patterns kind of like Or like the perfect setting for this,
Yeah.
for what we're kind of doing.
We're trying to tap into the primitive things that us as humans have lost due to the Industrial Revolution and our reliance on electrical lighting and more rigid way of sleeping. Because now we're so forced to abide by our work schedules. Yeah.
9 to 5, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Jody pointed at something out the window. And what is it? I don't even see
Just started
anything.
raining.
Oh. So, yeah. So that's kind of what we're using, is we're using the dark to see.
With the intent of hopefully connecting to something that our ancestors connected to, because that's what they would do, right? They would wake up, they would either pray or...
Right. They would use it for a number of things.
Tell stories, yeah.
Yeah. But that's our kind of goal, is to use that wakeful period where you're kind of still, you're tired, and you're waking up and you're engaging in some type of activity to enrich yourself, and we're choosing to use it for paranormal activity, paranormal investigation and research, and just to see if we can tap into something that, maybe is different than what you're typically communicating with on a normal investigation. When you aren't using the darkness, when you aren't using that late night period, when you aren't using the delta and theta waves that are produced by your brain and the way that it changes the hormones in your body and all those things, how they come together for this kind of biphasic sleep pattern, to see, if the ancient primitive people had something within them or outside of them that they were communicating with. Can we find it again if we engage in this sleep pattern?
So what do you think about that wakefulness part, when you're just basically waking yourself out of like deep sleep? How do you think that plays into it?
I think it plays in because you're still tired.
Yeah.
Okay. So your brain waves are different than they would be if you were fully awake. Mm-hmm. And your body is producing different hormones than it would if you were fully awake. Now, once you're fully awake, your body will stop producing prolactin, but you do get yourself into a period where, and I mean, other studies have shown this, that your body will produce prolactin, which is considered like the mother hormone. Mm-hmm. So it's what is used for animals, for mammals, for human beings to produce, like to lactate, to feed babies. So it's like does certain things, I can't remember right now, but it does certain things like within your brain and your body. So you're kind of tapping into that. You're using the waves. I can't remember if it's delta or theta when you first wake up, and then the other is as you're going to sleep. So you're using one when you're first waking up, and they kind of both are lending to you being in like a liminal state. Like you're not awake. Yeah. You're not asleep, So you're kind of taking advantage of that situation and using it to try to connect to the other, if you will, and see how it influences the communication versus when we're on a typical paranormal investigation where you're just up,
You've been up the whole day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you're not falling asleep at, some historic location for 3 hours and then waking up and investigating.
You mentioned the prolactin, the mother hormone that's being released, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that reacts differently to men versus women that would be doing this?
So men do produce prolactin. I don't think it's as high of a level as women do. I mean, right. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to say either way. But I definitely don't think it's as high as women produce it. I mean, women don't really produce it either in high quantities unless they are lactating.
Now, from a personal standpoint, I know that men produce prolactin because I have a condition that causes increased prolactin.
Yes.
In men. It's a brain condition. It's it's an actual physical anomaly in the brain that causes this on the pituitary gland.
Yes.
So, at times, I will have higher prolactin levels than others.
Right.
And I get that checked regularly, like every 6 months, something like that.
So, through the research I've done, Dr. Thomas Ware and some colleagues at NIMH, they had done some studies with human subjects, and they found that there were visibly heightened levels of prolactin during that period of time where you're awake, you're in that wakeful rest, they call it. You're not anxious, you're wakeful, and it kind of creates this endocrinology that they don't see at any other time in people's like daily or sleeping periods. It's a pituitary hormone, and it's best known, they're saying, for permitting chickens to brood on their eggs for long periods of time.
Because it's the you said it before.
The mother hormone?
The mother hormone for when they're getting ready to lactate and feed their children, so that makes sense.
So they've also likened the period of wakefulness to something approaching an altered state of consciousness, not unlike meditation. So that's kind of another reason that we're leaning heavy into that wakeful rest period.
So that's unlocking like creative parts of the brain.
Right, parts of your brain that you're not really using. Right, it's not the mother hormone, it's the attachment hormone. It creates feelings of security, quietness, and peace. Intimately and biologically, it is tied to the dark.
That's really interesting.
So we did an investigation last night, and these are all things, right? Like Jody doesn't get heavy into the research side of it, but these are things that I've been putting the time and energy in to be like, yes, this is worth it. Yes, there is something there. And yes, I think we really can unlock something by genuinely doing this. And we did spend a month every single night, exhausted, while also working full-time jobs, doing this. And then we've kind of broken down to 2 nights a week where we were doing Friday, Saturday, and now we just do Saturday. But now we're here to kind of end it, right? Because we can't do this forever.
Well, we haven't been doing it the whole time either.
No, we've been doing it for about 8 months.
We've been doing it for 8 months, but we did, like, there was that 1 month that we did it religiously.
Right.
Every night.
Right.
And then since then it's been weekends.
Right, only weekends, like I said.
When I could wake up.
Right, sometimes we miss, sometimes we can't get up, sometimes...
That's totally my fault.
It is, yeah. Jody doesn't always wake up. Or sometimes I don't wake Jody up because he had to work late or, he's tired.
I talk in my sleep and...
Yeah, and I can't wake him up.
Yeah.
Or sometimes we're not home, right? We're out on a trip somewhere else doing another kind of investigation. So we're not able to engage in this specific type of investigation with these, like, rigid structure that we're utilizing here. But yeah, last night we did an Estes session, and it was pretty interesting. So what we kind of wanted to do with this recording today was use it to break it down through Jacques Vallée's control theory and Jungian archetypes, and explore how the different things that came up in that session kind of relate to those two theories.
That you don't notice
in
at
essence.
The time.
Right.
Like, you notice, you pick out certain words or phrases here and there, and you're like, oh, wow, that's wild. But then when you kind of look back at it and listen to it, and then put it all together, and those signs and symbols and words and phrases that show up,
Yeah.
they kind of all relate to each other.
Right.
Like you could kind of put it together.
There's a feedback loop in it.
Within this framework of Jungian architecture and Jacques Vallée's control theory.
Right. So we got a lot of things like that. So one of the things that Jacques Vallée presents is that these anomalies will use absurdities. They will say things that are just completely ridiculous to disrupt your logic brain from thinking.
Are we really going to go down this route?
Yeah, so they'll say things like, they talked about Atlantis, 100 ships. They talked about Byzantine. They talked about keeping things in their butt. They also said their life purpose is to discredit everyone. So it's also looking, right? They're trying to confuse us. They don't want us to be able to take this and use it to in any way prove any type of scientific theory. So they never give anything that can be proven. They make it absurd.
I think it's important to note that when we did the Estes session, it was I was the one that was under with the headphones.
Right.
And that.
Jody was the receiver.
The receiver, yeah.
Whereas I was the questioner,
Right.
which is typically how it works. It just works easier for Jody to be the receiver.
Just clarifying, that's all. We wanted to make sure that we clarify it for whoever's listening to this, that's what was going on. So, like, these are things that were, like, literally said, like Byzantine and Atlantis, 100 ships, keep it in my butt. which was wild. You could actually hear me react to that. I kind of chuckled a little bit when I got that.
Yeah, that was funny. And then we get some like mythological things that are coming through with technological imagery. They talk about a craft. They lost an engine. There's a round vehicle. And then we're looking at more like mythological motifs. Like it talks about Anubis. It talks about Atlantis. It talks about a chariot. It says my chariot. And again, Vallée argues that it's going to adapt itself to our cultural lexicon of the era and the time. So it moves from fairies to angels to spaceships to radios, all during our like half an hour conversation. And then you have to look at the way it escalates, right? It's telling us, go out in the dark now. We were inside. Go to the perimeter, come down, go outside. Something about the window, looking out the window, I think it said.
No, I just want to stop right on, jump in real quick. How does that make you feel?
When it tells me to do things like that?
Yeah.
Uneasy. Like I know it's a trickster spirit. So I feel like it wants to do one of two things.
Well, let's not call it, I want to refrain from calling it spirit anymore.
Okay.
I want to refer to like
an entity.
An
anomaly.
Well, an entity, an anomaly, whatever. Anything other than a spirit, because I like to put things in boxes and categorize things, and I'm feeling that we kind of have to get out of that headset. We can't put things in boxes and then put them away. And I mean, you could. We've done it, right? You come back months later and you find out that...
No, I get what you're saying. We're beyond a spirit at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not...
There's something weirder going on.
Right. There's something more universal taking place.
Right. Which I don't know how I feel about that, because the more I get into it, the more I feel like we don't really have control over anything, and everything is like pre-planned, and there's a path, or multiple paths, and little variations in that path determine where you end up. But
yeah, it does become uncomfortable to sit with things that you learn through this field when you're looking into it the right way. Because some people are just happy to go to I'm
happy for it to take me wherever it wants to take me. The problem with me is I will blindly follow. I don't know about you. I will blindly follow. If it's telling me to do something, my mentality is that, I'm going to do that just to see where it takes me.
Right. And then back to that, right? Because that's kind of where we cut off, is that I think it's a trickster, and it's trying to do one of two things. One, it wants to separate us. So that's why it's trying to lead that person who can communicate with it away from the person who can't.
And see, that's why I think it's harder to do this stuff as a duo with two people.
Right.
Especially when you get into tools and methods like the Estes Method. One person is under. They're not connected to the outside environment. They can't see or hear what's going on.
No.
And then the other person, the questioner...
Right, you're completely in the environment.
They're also isolated, if you think about it.
Right, you are.
When you're with two people.
Right. Right. Because one person is kind of like out of the environment while the other is completely immersed in the environment.
Right.
Like you're just in that environment with whatever is happening while the other person has literally no idea of what's happening in the environment. So you're essentially both isolated. But I also feel like I do see how it does get difficult when it's just the two of us, when it's saying things like go there, go here.
Right.
Whereas if you had a third or fourth person, they could do that.
That could be their role.
Right.
Exactly.
They could walk, they could do those things. But when you're together, my thought is always don't leave this person alone. Right? Because you don't know what's going to happen. Because I know, but I always go back to like that old school mentality of don't investigate alone. Don't investigate on your own. For so many reasons.
Don't leave the person. Yeah, exactly.
Right,
don't
for
leave
so
the
many
person
reasons.
alone.
You could get hurt. You know what I mean? What if I get hurt out there and you have no idea? How long are you going to stay there?
Let's talk about that. What are the practical reasons versus like what's already ingrained in our framework, our religious upbringing, When you look at practicality, yes, you don't want the person to get hurt. What if you leave them alone and they're blindfolded and they decide to get up, whatever the case may be, right?
Or what if I get hurt when I walk away?
And I have no idea what's going on because I'm under headphones, right?
And how long are you going to stay under those headphones before you take them off?
So there's safety issues. There's practical safety issues.
Right. There's real world issues that you have to contend with.
Right. Now, how much of that is your upbringing, your religious framework?
But I don't think any of that is anything that comes into that, right? It's all just more like a safety factor. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if either one of us is alone, either one of us could be hurt.
You mentioned the trickster factor, right?
Right. So you come into the trickster factor.
Now I could see where the religious framework would kind of come into that, right?
Yeah. Like, are you trying to lure me away?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
You can harm one of us when we're separate, is my thought, Or do you have another motive that you want us separated?
Which, again, we've never come across anything that's really, truly...
tried to harm us.
Yeah.
No. Nothing, no. But that's just my thought when it comes to a trickster element, is that they do quite often when us specifically are investigating, that's kind of where they're going. They're trying to separate us.
Right.
It's constant. Go here, go there, do that, do that.
That's something to keep note of. We'd have to go back at some of our old sessions where we have a third person around and see if it's as prevalent.
It's almost like you need to have that person in the Estes session in like a rolling chair, and you're just like, they're like, go here, and you're like, you roll them out. Now we're all together still.
It's a strange idea where you're going there. I almost kind of like that. You should see where that takes us.
I know, when it's like, go to the window and you roll the person with you if you have to leave the room to do these things, and then you're all going together, you're not separating.
And that's the thing, like when you have the third person there, like we should really go back and look at some of the, when there's more than two people in our sessions.
Right.
Like, if it's as insistent on separating us.
Right.
I mean, we don't know if that's what it's really trying to do.
No, it has though, because we have done investigations where it does try to separate us, even when there's more than two people, right?
Yeah.
Because even when we were at Penhurst, it was like, go up the stairs. Go into the other room.
Right. Yeah. That's so strange. Let's get back to the, what was the exact phrase about the butt and keeping it in the butt?
I'm going to keep it in my butt.
I'm going to keep it in my butt.
That could be like our new catchphrase. Well, I'm going to keep that in my butt for later.
For later. Oh my God.
Like, don't forget that. That might be useful.
Yeah. Hey, Gab, could you pull that one out of your ass? We need it now.
Well, think about it. Yeah, like that.
But I've mentioned, I think, a number of times, I have been reading Trickster and the Paranormal. Very hard book to read. I shouldn't say it's a hard book to read. It's easy to read, very understandable. It jumps all over the place. And from what I've read of it so far, like that whole thing, like keep it in the butt, and like that's the kind of things that a trickster would do. Like the trickster's over-sexualized, right? It wants to break down your barriers, right? So there's like stories of like the trickster entities, taking their penis off and, using their penis against themselves and stuff like that. Like, it's not a humanistic...
Right. It's not within the framework that we
We're trying to be proper humans.
People do.
Yeah, exactly. So like tricksters like to drink and they like to,
I think the trickster's goal ultimately is to keep you off guard so that you're not comfortable in the interaction. I think that's its goal, is to not let you get comfortable.
Okay, so if you're thinking of it from a standpoint of it's trying to work against you...
No. I think it wants to keep you off balance.
Okay.
I think that's its goal. It doesn't want you to get the upper hand. It wants to keep it. So it says things like that are so absurd and ridiculous that you either laugh or you become uncomfortable.
Okay.
In the way that you communicate, so that you don't feel like maybe you feel unsafe, maybe you feel just uncomfortable with the topic.
I see it as almost like a test, like it's testing you. All right, because in our session we got, I believe it said perimeter.
Yeah.
Corner, come outside.
Go to the perimeter.
Window. What are all these things?
Liminal spaces.
They're all borders, right?
Right.
They're all like, it's almost like it's trying to get you to cross that boundary.
Right, which is another part of Jacques Vallée's theory. Walk in the dark, go to the perimeter, come down, outside. Mm-hmm. And again, it did mention something about a window. I think it said to look out a window. But that's looking at, it wants you to cross a physical or psychological threshold to complete a conditioning cycle. That's what it's trying to do, is push you
what is that
into that.
Then? Is that they want you to break down your ego to get out of yourself, to become comfortable with crossing boundaries? and seeing where it takes you? I mean, I have to look at it from all angles here, right?
So, like we talked about, right? These encounters will not occur within your normal, secure environment, right?
Okay.
So, it always prompts the witness, who is the person experiencing it, it wants you to move into a state of liminality, a transitional space. So the physical rules, the rules of society, they're kind of like put on the back burner. That's not what you're focusing on. That's not what you're working. So there's 3 functions for crossing the threshold. You have to break the conscious resistance. So you have to alter your worldview. Mm-hmm. So it has to bypass that rational ego filter in your mind, right?
So that's our framework. That's what we were brought up to live within. That's religion. That's
right.
Societal norms, basically.
Right. So it wants you, it's saying, do these things, do this. Surrender control to me so that I can break it down.
What's the goal then?
So it wants you to physically step across your boundary. So then you enter into a more vulnerable state and you are more, like you have more of like a sensory overload. Mm-hmm. And then it triggers your primitive sense of fight or flight. Okay? Which, I mean, you already have me in the dark. Mm-hmm. And I'm afraid of the dark. So I'm kind of always on that border anyway when we're in the dark. And anything that kind of pushes past that boundary, I can almost get there. It has to really be like heightened. Like sometimes it talks about like apocalypse and things, and that kind of almost sends me there. And the next step is initiation.
I was just
the ritual.
Say, this sounds very initiatory.
So you're thinking of like you're walking into the fairy ring, right? Uh-huh. You're crossing that border, and then I was altering your relationship with time and space. So in the behavior sense, you're crossing the threshold, and that's your buy-in. Huh. So the phenomena is setting a condition. Okay, come outside. You fulfill it. You complete the feedback loop. And you're signaling that you're ready for the next level of the stimulus. And that's why I never do it. Because my fear is I do A, B, and C, and then D is you're going to show yourself to me. You're going to do something that's going to, without a doubt, trigger my fight or flight. Like the time we saw the shadow in the woods.
Yeah.
And that's what scares me.
That's your flight. You're totally flight. 100% flight. As soon as your sense goes off and you're like, hey, we got to leave, you take off. And I'm really, 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 I've said it a number of times, I'm trying to trust your sense for that.
Because I know why it wants me to cross the boundary.
Right.
It wants to take me to another level that I don't know if I'm ready for.
Well, what if you're wrong? What if all this is like some sort of allegory for your personal boundaries and you need to cross that boundary to get to the next point?
So once you cross the threshold, it will culminate in highly surreal or absurd experiences. You'll start to see lights. You'll receive cryptic strings of numbers. You'll encounter contradictory entities, which I feel like are things we're already doing.
We're already there, yeah.
So because it occurs outside of your boundaries, you can't easily process it. So then you become obsessed with decoding it. And then that anchors it into your consciousness permanently, which is something I think we're already have crossed into.
I agree, 100%. I'm always trying to decode what's happening. Always. I'm always trying to put it together.
Right. So, like, within that framework, I will say things like, nope, we're going to stay inside. No, thank you. So I'm halting that cycle, right? I'm stopping it before we even start.
And you're setting a boundary.
Right. I set the boundary. I don't want to get into that unstable liminal zone where it needs me to, like, modify my behavior. So resisting that invitation is one of the few ways that we can maintain our control against these conditioning loops within Jacques Vallée's system of control. Because that's what we're looking at this through, right?
Yeah.
For this portion, we're looking at it through, specifically right now, Jacques Vallée's control theory.
Right. So from a psychological standpoint, the way I look at that is like there's a fine line between someone who's sane and someone who's maybe
dealing with some type of, a mental health.
So how does this play into it? Is it, because with societal norms, from that perspective, there's things that are acceptable and there's things that are not. Is it trying to alter your state of mind to get you to do things that kind of go against that?
No, what it's trying to do is alter your framework for understanding and belief.
Okay.
So it's trying to evolve itself, if you think of it that way.
Oh, so it needs you to believe in what it is doing in order for it to grow.
Right. It needs people to buy in and do these things so that it can change how we communicate with it. Right? Because people are going to locations and they're communicating and they're talking.
We're back to thought forms again.
But no, we're not. We're looking at the control theory, right? Mm-hmm. Where that there are things out there, right, that basically try to control us. The archetypes, in a way. And they need to evolve themselves. And they're saying, right, if more people were going out and doing these things, then they would be evolving more.
I get you. So they need to evolve with the current time, basically.
Right.
They have to change, and they have to, which is interesting because I think that's what's going on in this, that was going on in this Estes session. We kind of moved away from like fairies and spirits and anomalies to something that's...
Right. It's like coming out here worked. We were like at one baseline and it's just jumped us right into the next.
And now if you think about it, where society is going, what are we on the cusp of right now? What is the big thing? There's movies about it now and everything.
The AI?
That's one of them. But there's a really big movie that just came out.
The disclosure of aliens.
Or whatever, whatever
ultra-terrestrials, extraterrestrials.
Yeah. That's really super interesting.
Right. So then if we look at it from Jungian's perspective, right, his archetypal psychology, then you have to look at the trickster archetype again, right? The way that it was mocking our process. Don't be ridiculous. It uses the crude humor.
I love when it does that, by the way. When it doesn't like what you say and it just immediately, hey, don't be ridiculous. That's silly. That's stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
It being,
like,
whatever
I'm the one sitting here in the dark talking to, I know this is silly. It changes its identity. It'll say, like, this one's new. It'll just, like, start a new conversation with you. Like, hey, hi. Like, as if you're talking to someone new.
Oh, it shifts, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it admits to its agenda. It will say, like, one of the things it told us was it wants to discredit everyone. That's its agenda. That's its goal.
Interesting. I didn't even think of that. I didn't put that together.
Right.
Wow.
So when your conscious mind is seeking a structure that's very rigid, breaking down the boundaries to allow that unconscious material to surface is kind of what the trickster comes in to do.
Okay.
So then you have to look at like the liminality and the borders that we were experiencing, say along the border, at the boundary, the corner, the window.
Yeah.
That's
literally all boundaries. Every single one of those things.
It uses those as metaphors for the ego defense barrier. It's dividing that line between your two minds, right? Your conscious mind and the collective unconscious, right? So your conscious mind is, I'm safe in the house. But the collective unconscious is me going outside into the darkness and sitting with you and us doing what it asks us to do when we're out there.
Yeah.
So it will demand that you cross the line. It wants you to cross the line. That's his goal, is to make you cross the line.
Again, and like that's the thing that confuses me. To what end? What is the ultimate goal?
So then you have to look at, it used the mythological symbols with us too, right? Like it said Anubis, the guide of souls through the underworld.
Again, what is that?
Through Egyptian mythology, right?
What is that though?
But he represents your unconscious mind again. And then you have to look at the moth. It talked about a moth. And that symbolizes how the soul can be drawn toward the light. Mm-hmm. And it could even be to its own destruction or its transformation. See, and that's where my concern comes in.
That's a good one. Oh my God, Gabrielle.
Do you want me to cross that boundary to destroy me? Or do you want to transform me?
Oh my God.
And if you're not telling me, I don't want to cross the boundary. Are you going to make me cross that boundary and I'm never going to be able to go back? You're going to put me into an existential crisis?
It's a fucking gamble.
Right. And I'm never going to come back? Or are you going to put me through to the next stage of whatever this is and I can handle it?
So how do you know? How do you know?
You don't know until you take the step. You don't know until you go.
It's a leap of faith. It's a fucking leap of faith.
It's a leap of faith. But at the same time, you don't know how you're coming out the other side. You don't know.
So you're coming out with all this knowledge, or you're just a fucking crazy person?
Right, or are you going to essentially lose your mind because you've gone too far? And you can't come back. You can't come back.
The human mind can only handle so much.
Right.
Yeah.
Or is it something...
And I want to go there. I want to go there. That's what I want to do.
But do you want to go there?
I do.
Because even think about it, we've had times where we have these existential crises, right? Where we're like, we have no control over things, right? When we really did experience Jacques Vallée's control theory, like we don't have control. Right? There is something controlling us, right? And that sent us on this mini crisis. Imagine if you have that.
There's something nudging us.
Right.
I guess in the quote unquote right direction.
But imagine if you have that and you can't stop it. You can't get out of it.
Yeah.
That's just your baseline now.
That's awful to think of,
Right. And that's the destruction.
I don't have control. Maybe I live in a simulation, that sort of shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then we also had things where it said the Queen and the Red Apple. Pure fairy tale.
This is a good one.
A mythic archetype. It represents the anima, or the unconscious feminine side of the male psyche, which is through, again, Jungian's framework. And it associates with temptation, deep hidden knowledge, psychic integration. It even said to us, like, delicious are your thoughts.
Yeah, really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Right.
You know, or is the apple your thoughts? Like, what's going on there?
Yes.
I mean, it's neat that we leave apples as offerings.
Right.
Our local spot in the
See, and that's the way you took it, right? That's something that we do very often. We leave apples, red apples specifically, because it did say red apples.
It said red apples.
We leave red apples in the woods at a local spot at least once a month.
I mean, to take that even further, some of the research you did here about the apple and the queen.
Right, you're even looking at the fairy tale, Snow White.
Uh-huh.
Snow White is my favorite fairy tale.
So is it plucking from both of our minds at the same time?
That's the way it feels a lot of the time.
Yes, I agree.
It's in there.
It's in there.
And it's very pertinent to things that are happening at the time. Like it knows what's in there, and it goes and it fishes around and picks out what it needs.
And I believe there was something in there actually about the association with the apple and the queen and its connection to the feminine side of the male.
Yeah,
mind.
The anima.
The anima.
No, the anima. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of, so you're looking at like the anima versus the animus. They're two parts of like the same coin in a way.
I mean, are you picking up on that too? What's going on there?
Like, what do you mean?
Well, you were talking about these altered states and your brain releasing prolactin.
Right. Oh, so you're going with the female side because of the prolactin in the brain.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't think of that.
So let's touch on that for a second now.
Okay.
What if
it wants you to embrace that?
The feminine side is a boundary for me.
Okay. And it wants you to cross it.
Yes.
Okay. For your destruction or transformation.
Well, let's not get into the transformation thing. I don't think that's me, but...
But at the other side, okay, so we harped on the destruction being bad, right? Who says the destruction has to be bad?
How do you mean?
Like, what if it isn't bad, but it's destroying our preconceived notions about these situations and interacting with these entities, and it's taking us to a new way of looking at these things. Like, so we already know, right? They're not just spirits of people who've passed on, right? There's something else out there. There's something more.
Well, again, it's
that is literally using our minds.
It's archetypal. Again, right? You think of, I hate to bring
but
this up, but it's on my mind.
What if it doesn't destroy us in the sense of it's destroying us, and now, we're in some type of psychosis and we can never come back. Oh. But what if it destroys us in a way that we reach a higher level of thinking?
Yeah, well, it's you're
right,
reborn.
A rebirth.
A rebirth, yeah. Yeah.
Like a destruction and a rebirth.
Okay, this is reminding me of a lot now, and it's on my mind now because I was listening to something recently, the Tower card, right?
Okay.
The Tower card's really bad. What's the Tower card represent?
Rebirth, right? Everything is being destroyed.
It's really bad at first, but there's always kind of like the silver lining at the end of the path, right? So, yep.
Yeah. Everything's being destroyed and rebuilt. In the Tower card. Yeah, it's bad, but it's not going to last.
Where are you going?
I'm going to get the cards.
Oh, you're gonna pull your tarot?
Yeah. What does it want us to do?
Now, what do you have there? Let's explain to our listeners what you have there.
I have a pocket deck.
Okay.
For the Rider-Waite tarot.
That's the original.
Well, not the original. But it's the most popular and used deck.
It's the iconic.
Yeah, if you see a tarot, you probably think of the Rider-Waite Smith. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's give her credit. Pamela Coleman Smith, I think is her name, who designed all these cards.
Are you doing a pull now? What are you doing?
Yeah, let's do a pull. Let's just pull one card. If we get the fucking Tower, right? If we get the fucking devil.
Hold on. Do you mind if I video this real quick?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to video this. Should I do it long ways, or I'm going to do it like the way a movie's supposed to be made, right? Side by side here.
Okay. Are you going to tell her what we're doing?
Tell who what I'm doing?
The recording?
Yeah, I'm so dense sometimes. Anyway, I'm going to record now, okay?
Okay.
All right, so she is shuffling her deck here. And here's the deck we were talking about. Okay, that is the... oh my god.
It's the Rider-Waite Smith.
Thank you. You're the tarot person, not me.
Yeah, it's pretty much just like your standard deck that most decks come off evolved of.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going to shuffle one more time if these things will go in.
And you said you're going to do a 1-card draw? You're not going to do the 3-card
No, just one.
deal? Yeah.
Just tell us what we need to know,
All right. I got your hands here. I'm zooming in on your hands.
What do we need to know for tonight, for moving forward, for this whole thing in general, right? This is the way I like to pull, specifically one card.
Are you pulling, or do you want me to point one out, or what?
I'll pull.
Okay.
I'll just pull whatever card I feel like I need. And I do have these kind of upside down and right side up. And what are we looking at? The Nine of Pentacles?
9 of Pentacles.
You know what? Let's do a second. The upside down Queen of Swords. Because, of course, there's a queen. And I like this one. Which is the Hermit.
Let's do it this way. So we have the 9 of Pentacles, the upside down Queen of Swords, and what is it? We have the Hermit.
Yeah.
That's Gandalf, by the way. That's the wizard, right?
Yeah. So what are we looking at? Because I'm not, perfect with these. So we're looking at the Hermit. He's prudence, dissimulation, corruption, roguery. He's not reversed, so okay. And then we have, let's see, Pentacles. And we have 9.
And this is just kind of like an exercise. I'm not great with tarot cards. Gabrielle, what are your thoughts on tarot
She also
cards?
means prudence, safety, success, accomplishment, certitude, discernment.
Okay.
And then we have to look at the Queen of Swords.
Upside down.
Yeah, reverse. Where's Swords? Here it is. Queen of Swords, she's here. Widowhood? No, we're reversed. Malice, bigotry, artifice, prudery, and deceit.
Okay. I mean, that could be, deceit, right? That could be a little trickstery.
Right.
Though I don't see I don't see the trickster as being the Queen of Swords, right? Like, that would be more of like a fool card, right? You would think?
No, the Fool is kind of like the hero in the journey, if you think of it. Like, so the way that it goes is the Fool is the first card. I would never be able to find him in this deck. He's the first card, and you follow him throughout his journey. So It's kind of like he's going through the journey, and he's meeting all these people on the way.
The Fool's journey.
Yeah, and he's having all of these experiences. But they call him the Fool, but I kind of think of him as like the hero in the story because it's his story, you know?
So we have 2 cards that were kind of on brand there.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'll have to dig deeper and see what they kind of mean, especially together.
All right, I'm going to cut the video now if that's
okay,
cool.
Yeah.
All right, say goodbye.
Bye.
I got to wait.
Bye.
Bye.
So let's see, the 9 of Pentacles, the reverse Queen of Swords, and the Hermit. So, okay, 9 of Pentacles, discipline, material sufficiency. You have a stable foundation. You've established clear boundaries. You earn the right to enjoy your personal space and our autonomy. There's a strong sense of refinement and confidence. The reversed Queen of Swords. It often indicates a communication breakdown, mental exhaustion, or a defensive posture that's grown too rigid or sharp.
So that's, again, are we too rigid in setting our boundaries?
Right, which is something you've been saying all day.
I have been.
It can also manifest an internal cynicism, overthinking, or a feeling that your intellect is working against your peace. So you're using your discernment so critically that it feels isolated or harsh. And I do feel like I do that, and I do that out of fear.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely your fight or flight kicking in.
Right.
Which is strange, because when we do this stuff, it's immediate flight for you. You want to go, you want to leave. You don't do that to me, though. You're all fight with me.
And then the Hermit, he demands deliberate isolation, quick reflection, and a pause from the noise of the outside world to process a deeper understanding.
We did get pause in that session, too. Right?
So,
a number of times, like pause, hold on, wait.
It said pause like 2 times in a row.
Like settle down, hold on.
Yeah.
Like let me get collected, let yourself get collected, let's, you know.
So it says, more interestingly, the Hermit represents a classic archetype of the conscious retreat. Is strikingly relevant to our research because he's holding a single lantern to navigate the dark. He's seeking truth, not from the outside, but from within.
I didn't even notice the lantern.
Yeah.
I mean, that's funny. What are we doing when we go into the woods at night? When we go to Penhurst? When we go to any place to investigate? What are we doing? We're holding a light.
Yeah. Like, you're protecting the sanctuary. Our boundaries might feel overly taxing, but, you know, and we're constantly on guard. We're analyzing, you know, what risks are going on, and we're being hypervigilant. So that's what it's kind of saying, like the Pentacles and the Swords card, that's how they kind of come together, right? I value our sanctuary, our autonomy, and the peace that we've built. Mm-hmm. But then the Queen of Swords is coming in and saying maintaining it is causing strain or friction, right? So we're trying to do this investigation and we're trying to move forward, but I'm putting our boundaries to be so rigid that it's straining us from moving forward.
What did I fucking say?
Okay.
Earlier today.
Yeah, seriously. So the Hermit's light is telling us that the antidote to my overthinking isn't to force the resolution, but to step into the Hermit's realm, right?
Oh boy.
So use our minds to dissect or defend. He's inviting us to pull our energy in towards ourselves.
So is the message here to, you know, should we be taking the next step forward and pushing through those boundaries?
No, it's saying the same thing I've been saying the whole time. Sit in the magic circle and experience it, and then criticize it after.
Yeah.
Step back from trying to decode or manage external inputs for a moment and sit quietly in the dark with your own inner light.
You've been saying that, yeah.
Uh-huh. I've been saying just sit in the magic circle and experience it, but I can't. Because I just get myself so scared. Like that friggin' shadow's going to come. And what is he going to do? Is he going to hurt me? Like, that's my biggest fear. He's going to hurt me.
Well, he didn't hurt you. He didn't hurt you that night. He didn't hurt any of us.
But I wasn't alone.
Is a he, as I'm giving a gender, but I mean, who knows? But yeah, so we're gonna do this again tonight.
Yeah.
We're gonna. I don't know what we're gonna do. What are our plans for tonight?
So the core takeaway from this pull is we have the security and independence to step away, and if our thoughts or boundaries are feeling sharp, exhausted, or misaligned, we need to give ourselves permission to go into a full retreat, to quiet our mind and regain our clarity.
Sounds like you need to fight your fight or flight.
I know. It sounds like we have to push the boundaries. But could we do it maybe with a spirit box session versus an Estes session? Where we're still together, but we're still using...
I mean, the only problem I have with that is then we get into the...
What does it say?
Yeah. When it's saying it said, Bob, no, it said job, like that's you get into with that.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. So what do you think? What do you want to do then?
I say that I have to find a way to push through what's holding me back. I think that's what it's saying.
What do we do? How do we move through a boundary while setting boundaries? How does that work?
Maybe it's just literally as simple as, if you're going to show yourself to me, please do it in a form that's not going to scare me.
So you set rules.
Right.
Okay. I'm walking through the threshold now.
I will agree to walk through the threshold, but if you need to show yourself to me, please take a form that won't scare me.
Okay.
Or don't charge me.
Did we come up with a plan?
We can make all the plans we want until the sun goes down.
Come on, you got to do this. I think you got to do it. I think you got to push through.
I think, I
too.
do too.
The boundaries, what's holding us back?
Let's see. I wanted to bring up the last point here too that we were discussing earlier.
Yeah, we kind of went off there, huh?
The Queen and the Apple.
How did that happen? We left off the Queen and the Apple, right?
Yeah.
And then we went on to a tarot poll and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're analyzing all of our session together, right, through Jacques Vallée's lens, you're looking at it as a conditioning exercise. We even get like numbers that it gives us, and it's trying to disrupt our rational mind. And then you're looking at it through Jung's lens, and it successfully lowers your conscious threshold. Okay. And that allows the collective unconscious to orchestrate like this narrative that is coming in with these trickster and historical symbols as an objective dialogue between us and the unknown.
So it's the ego. It's breaking down the ego is what it is.
Yeah, essentially, in a way.
Not as to lose yourself, but as to just say, like, get over yourself already. Get over your conscious self and let this stuff happen as it happens. What?
Like me. Get over yourself.
Get over yourself, yeah, exactly.
Get over your overthinking and your fear.
You overthink.
You're worried about what's going to happen next so much. I do.
Yeah.
And it was saying things like about the window, and I was like, I wouldn't even look at the window. You had to see me. I had my head down like this, so I couldn't see the windows.
Which I have to say is very strange because I'm the worrywart. I'm the one that's always worrying about whatever, finances, money, whatever's coming next. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? But when it comes to this stuff, I'm not. I'm too fucking curious. I just want to keep going. You, on the other hand, we're complete opposites.
Yeah, within this field we are.
So, I wonder if that's what helps. Like, we're basically grounding each other in different ways.
I think so. That's what helps us become intertwined.
Intertwined, yeah.
But then, it's also like, we're talking about these things that aren't...
Just say it.
That aren't like mainstream. Let's use that word.
Again, things that aren't really socially acceptable.
Right, right. And it's like, you talk about things like this, and it's very easy to see how you've crossed a line. Mm-hmm. And potentially, there are more factors taking place. And that's another thing that holds me back all the time is like, I don't want people to view me as having lost my mind.
Right.
And that's like...
Whereas I just don't care.
Right, and that's my concern, is that people are going to think I'm crazy.
Yeah, but you're you're pretty grounded because you kind of have, it's 1 foot in, 1 foot out, which is a very important thing when you're doing this sort of stuff.
But we also don't talk to people about this really. And then when we do, I'm like, oh, you sound like you're crazy.
It's not our life. I don't want to say that because it kind of has become our life. Like, it really has, right? Like, it's definitely become, would you say, more than a hobby?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not every conversation we have. You know, we're not at Thanksgiving dinner talking about this stuff. Well, maybe we are.
Right. We aren't trying to force people to do this with us.
Yeah, come join our cult. Yeah.
Right.
You'll like it over here.
Pushing them into the woods.
Here's some Kool-Aid.
Yeah. The spirits will take you over too. Just trust them.
Yeah. But we're grounded. We're very much 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We're trying to keep a really well-grounded approach while also, you know, we're getting into some subject matter it's not, I don't even know where I'm going with this. Help me out here.
I know.
It's not, because I can't even say socially unacceptable because I think it's becoming more socially acceptable. You know, here we are in 2026 and this stuff is incredibly popular.
Yeah.
You know, groups showing up that are doing this and that, but we've changed. I mean, it's not...
I just worry that, like I said, I worry that we're going to cross into that destruction and it's going to put us into a spot where we can't come back.
Another duality, right?
Yes.
Is the destruction going to destroy us, or is the destruction going to tear down walls that allow us to move forward? It's
right.
Crazy.
Right.
To think of.
It is.
Oh, man. What else we got?
I don't know. I think this was a good conversation.
Yeah, I agree. Very, very constructive. So, what are we going to do tonight?
Sleep. No.
I am tired.
I don't know. I feel like maybe go out and sit and...
Our family's going to ask us, hey, what did you do on this trip? Nothing. What do you mean? Oh, we sat at a cabin and we talked to ourselves at night and...
Yeah.
You know, maybe sat in the woods at 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, we also recorded this hour or so long thing.
Yeah. About our thoughts on these experiments.
Yeah. I can see my parents right now. That's not a vacation. It is to me.
I feel like this is what we needed, right? Yeah. I have been like, how the hell does this experiment end? How does this end?
What were you saying before about a retreat?
What do you...
I mean, I'm gonna call a duck what it is. You know, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. You were talking about, you know, like kind of like a conscious retreat. And I mean, in a way, we kind of got here. We came here, we relaxed, we did what we were supposed to do, and now we're talking about it.
Right. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I know.
You got nothing else? I think that's a good place to end it.
I think it is. All right.
All right, so there you have it. We hope you enjoyed that little discussion that we had. You know, these are the kind of discussions we have when we're on the road, sometimes sitting in bed at night. You know, we toss around ideas and theories and get a little deep sometimes, but we really enjoy these conversations.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that we talk about the first night, right? And the things that we were getting from that session.
Right.
But we don't really get into that second night.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's something that you guys are interested in, we could even get more into like the Estes sessions themselves.
Yeah, we could get in there and analyze it a little bit.
Yeah. And the different like other research modalities that we used throughout this process. You know, that's something that people are interested in. Get more into the evidence that we got, the thoughts that we have, the theories that we've used. Different things like that if people are interested.
Yeah, so let's put that on the shelf for now, and then we'll see where it goes. You might come back to it eventually, right?
Yeah. Give us your feedback. Let us know what you think. Like, are you interested? Are you not interested? Do you have thoughts on the things that we're discussing? You know, do you have things to add to it? Ways that you would change it? Anything, really. Just let us know. We'd love to hear it.
We're also kicking around the idea of doing live Estes sessions.
Yeah.
So if that's something you're interested in too, yeah, please let us know.
Yeah, definitely do.
And you can do that at podcastoftheparanormal.com.
On our social media page.
It's all on the website. Yeah. Everything we do is right on our website.
Whatever's better for you.
I think that's all we got. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed listening.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.